Movie begins with a woman named Frida scrolling through her phone, where she comes across news stories and video interviews about billionaire Slater King, owner of King Tech. Over the past year, Slater's reputation has taken a hit due to inappropriate behavior, but he's now hoping the public will forgive and let go of the past. Frida and her best friend Jess work as cocktail waitresses at a gala event hosted by Slater's company. Party starts, and she finds Slater King is the chief guest and spills champagne on a guest. Later, Jess sneaks in dresses for both of them so they can blend in as guests. Frida accidentally draws attention when one of her heels snaps, causing her to stumble into a waiter. Slater appears, helps her up, and breaks off the other heel to make her shoes even. He quickly charms Frida and introduces her and Jess to a circle of his wealthy, influential friends. As the evening wraps up, Slater extends an invitation to Frida and Jess to join him and his elite friends at his private island for a getaway of 50 days. The women fly to Slater's private island, where they meet up with his inner circle of friends, along with Slater's personal assistant Stacy, who takes everyone's phones upon their arrival. Slater shows Frida her room and asks her to join him by the pool later on. Excited, Frida takes shower, where she discovers a bottle of perfume and sprays herself with it. She also finds a red lip gloss in a drawer filled with gross hair. A maid approaches her and mysteriously utters only the words "Red Rabbit" to Frida. As they get ready, they find everyone is dressed same. While the other guests relax by the pool, Frida accompanies Slater as he shows her around the property. He mentions that there are snakes on the island, which his staff often have to eliminate. Frida talks about her small business focused on creating animal-inspired nail art. As they stroll, they see Stacy carrying several red gift bags. Later that evening, they gather with the rest of the group for a fancy dinner, where they all take MDMA droplets. Everyone gets funky. Frida wakes up in bed next to Jess and notices that a red stain on her dress from the night before has completely vanished. As they continue their stay on the island, the guests appear to be having fun, and Frida enjoys her time with Slater. As Frida wakes up next morning, she keeps finding strange occurrences, like unexplained dirt under her fingernails. She goes to return Slater's vape pen, and he introduces her to Rich. Frida recalls meeting him at Met Gala previous evening, and Rich gets nervous unexplained. Jess, on the other hand, begins to notice odd things as well, growing suspicious when she spots the maid dealing with snakes. During a conversation, Frida asks Slater what day is it too, which he replies he doesn't know. During a party that night, everyone dances off seemingly drugged when Jess screams after a snake bites her hand. Slater kills the snake and ensures the snake isn't poisonous. Later, Jess confides in Frida that she is scared. Something strange is going on at the island. But Frida shuts her up to stop talking nonsense, as she is enjoying this luxurious life in here and doesn't want her to ruin it. Just before heading to her room, Jess starts to suffer from a sudden nosebleed. The following day, Frida searches for Slater and Forrest and finds the same red gift wrap she had seen earlier in Stacy's hand. She discovers a hut filled with the same red packets and encounters the maid again, who offers her a drink. Upon drinking, Frida complains about its intense flavor, also discovering it's made with snake venom, and gets crazy scared. As the day progresses, Frida starts getting flashes of fragmented memories and again spots dirt in her fingernails. On breakfast, Sarah spots an odd bruise on teenager. While relaxing by the pool, Frida realizes Jess is missing. Even more unsettling, Camilla and Heather act like they don't even remember Jess ever being there. Despite using the lighter Jess had been sharing with them throughout the trip. She asks Stacy about Jess's whereabouts, but even she denies knowing her. Running to Jess's room, she finds it as a storage room. Frida hurries back to her room, slapping herself to remember. She discovers a knife hidden behind the mirror, accompanied by a fleeting memory of Jess telling her to stash the weapon. Frida confides in Sarah, who is also beginning to feel that something's off. She asks her what day is it to, which Sarah doesn't know. Sarah shows her unexplained bruised arm. While talking, Frida realizes none of the girls on this island actually know any of the guys here personally, and they realize how much of a huge mistake they did coming here alone. Frida takes her to the room where she had earlier found the red gift bags, and discover it had the same perfume they use every day, which might be causing all women the memory loss. She manages to grab more snake venom liquor and offers some to Sarah. While the snake venom may actually help them recall things, to test their theory, they deceive Camilla and Heather into drinking the venom by mixing it with tequila shots. Stacy joins them and unwittingly drinks some of the concoction as well. As the group indulges in drinks, Frida seizes the chance to sneak into Slater's office to search for their phones, while Sarah stays alert to signal her if anything happens. Sarah's nose starts to bleed and finds boys have arrived. Frida finds a cabinet and breaks its lock. As Slater goes to his room, Sarah tries to signal Frida, but she couldn't hear it. While rummaging through Slater's things, she finds her phone and hears Sarah's voice signaling her. She starts putting everything back and discovers some photos from an earlier trip when Slater enters with Stacy and his bodyguard Stan. Frida manages to hide under the table. Suddenly, she gets a nosebleed and begins recalling a horrific memory. She and the other women had been tied up and dragged through mud, terrified. Jess had started remembering everything, so Slater had ordered Stan to snap her neck. Frida manages to flee and informs Sarah of the disturbing truth she uncovered. Sarah asks what to do next, and Frida replies, "Keep pretending." During dinner, Frida's memory fully returns. She recalls that the men had been sexually assaulting the women, even the Lucas, using the perfume to erase their memories afterward. Rich had recently assaulted Frida, which explained why he was shocked she recognized him. As everyone had dinner knowing mass assault is about to begin, Frida and Sarah encourage everyone to start dancing, trying to figure out their next move. Slater dances along with Frida, taking her aside. Soon, Camilla and Heather regain their memories as well. Camilla attacks Tom, stabbing him in the neck until he dies. Sarah stabs Cody's hand, while Heather tries to bash Vic's head with a chessboard. Stan intervenes and shoots Heather in the head. Slater takes care of Camilla and Stan, then targets Frida, attempting to kill her. As Frida is spotted by Stan in jungle, Sarah saves her by smashing Stan's head with a rock. The remaining men take Camilla hostage inside Slater's villa, where Slater mercilessly steps on her neck until she dies. Frida is discovered by Stacy, who is furious that Frida made her remember the horrors the men inflicted upon her. In a rage, Stacy attacks Frida, but Frida defends herself and fatally stabs Stacy in the heart. Meanwhile, Sarah tracks Cody down in the woods and kills him. Frida had found a picture of herself in cabinet, implying this is not her first time experiencing this horror. When Frida and Sarah confront Slater outside, Lucas opens the door, only to be shot in the head. Frida manages to get inside the villa and briefly fights Slater. As they struggle, more memories flood back to her. She had been on the island the previous year and escaped, but the perfume made her forget what happened, and that she had bitten off Vic's pinky during her escape. Slater launches into a tirade, yelling, "Apology doesn't let you forget past mistakes, but his perfumes does," explaining forgetting is a gift for every human being. Sarah shoots the door, attempting to get in. While negotiating with Frida, Slater hears Sarah is out of bullets and leaves to capture her. He chases after her, following her bloody footprint to the pool, and brings her right back in, taking another hit from his vape pen before attempting to slit Sarah's throat. However, he soon becomes disoriented, as Frida had secretly laced his vape pen with the flower toxin to erase his memory. Seeing the bodies strewn around him, Slater panics and accidentally knocks over some candles, setting the villa ablaze. Frida drags him out, leaving Vic to perish in the fire. Frida seems to be talking to Sarah beside her, who asks if she knows what she's doing, and leaves. Frida beside unconscious Slater watches the villa burn. Later, Frida attends another high-profile event with Slater by her side, still subdued by the toxin in his vape. She encounters Rich again, who looks uneasy, realizing she remembers everything. The event host then announces Frida as both Slater's wife and the new CEO of his company.